I'm Wanda Lee, and we played Geisha Assassin in Warrior Showdown 2.
Hi, my name is Tom Quiche, and I played the Gladiator in Warrior Showdown 2.
Let's see, the matchup between the Geisha and the Gladiator. That's just unfair.
The choice to make the Geishas twins is probably the closest guarded secret of Warrior Showdown 2.
There's two of us. Surprise!
Tom Quiche really understands the craft of acting.
Me?
Yeah.
He was able to contribute a lot of monstrous ferocity, but also some very subtle humor.
I thought the Gladiator is the most versatile, and also the Gladiator is really one of the only contestants in this whole thing that fights for the entertainment of a crowd. So I felt that that gave me a lot of levity in putting humor in, playing to the camera almost. I could put even a little bit of arrogance in, which, you know, I had to dig down deep for and truly find somewhere.
And I had that, baby, that would feed the tribe.
Oh, what's not to like? We get to be geisha assassins. Everything, from the fans to the kimonos, just everything was so much fun. I have to agree, not just a geisha, but an assassin. And the costume, really, it's just so pretty. It's flowy and it's pink. It's my favorite color. The way I came on board was that
I found this class that TJ taught, and I started taking this class.
if you're a fan of the Warrior Showdown series, and you should be, if you remember from Warrior Showdown 1, I got to play the ninja.
And TJ had just wrapped up this crazy project called
Warrior Showdown 1.
Warrior Showdown 1, that's what it was. And I was like, okay, that looks
So cool.
ridiculous. And then when TJ was doing Warrior Showdown 2,
I got an email from Nat and TJ, and they said, hey, do you want to be the geisha assassin? And I was like, I didn't even think. I was like, yes. Right away, I didn't even finish reading the email. I typed it, yes, absolutely, yes. All the way.
I was like, hey, if you need any help with this, I would be happy to come out and play.
When it came to the Gladiator, Natalie and I needed to not only find an actor who had the physical presence to portray a career killer, but also had the charisma of an entertainer. Where are we gonna find somebody like that?
Put your hands down, it's not your turn.
Oh wait, that's right.
And then TJ and Nat was like, you know what'd be cool? If we've had two of them. And then Wendy said, hey, you guys know my sister?
Natalie sent me an email or a text, I don't remember which one, and she actually said, you are an ogre, you should play the Gladiator.
And the rest was history. So I came on board, and I am so happy I did. This is one of the best things I've ever done.
When I learned my opponent would be the Geisha Assassin, I actually loved it. I thought it was great. By far the biggest contestant or warrior.
He's so tall and he's so big, and we're tiny.
Versus by far the smallest contestant or warrior.
So I was just like, you know, this will be such an interesting matchup.
And then big, powerful weapon versus these like dainty fan things. I just thought the contrast was great, and the possibilities of combinations would be great.
And I was kind of like, oh, hi, you're gonna be opponent. Because of your size, you're like two of me,
It's interesting you say
two of
that.
us. It's like two of us standing on our shoulders. Yeah, once I figured out who it was gonna be and I met him at rehearsal.
I personally got hungry. It was funny because that day, a menu got stuck in my door for a Chinese restaurant, and I thought, wow, this is coincidence.
I think geisha assassins are meant for eating.
Shrimp fried rice.
Because I love Asian food.
Chop suey in the neck! Until then. Definitely excited to have him as an opponent.
It was great. I knew them, I trusted them, I knew their sense of humor, I knew that they knew my sense of humor.
And he's just a lot of fun to be around, so.
And I knew that they enjoyed my creativity as much as I enjoyed theirs. Plus, we're definitely the best looking out of the group. So, I mean, how do you argue with this, right? How could this little geisha assassin kill a gladiator?
All I could picture was just like two little squirrels just like trying to run circles around him, and just.
I had an image of like gnats bothering a horse, you know, like, yeah, the gnats can keep getting the horse, but if the horse gets the gnat one time with its tail, the gnat's dead.
The choreography part was so much fun because we're both dancers, so we got to utilize a lot of dancing movements, a lot of flexibility in it, and made it so cool.
So it was kind of fun coming up with these different scenarios, and yeah.
Well, it definitely was a lot of fun to work with my sister and with Tom. Tom just joked around all the time, so it made it very relaxing for me. Like, I was a little nervous coming in. I've not done any of this fight stuff before, so having to learn the fight techniques and how to treat a weapon a certain way was a little intimidating, but just everybody made it so much fun. We had a lot of fun on set. We had a lot of time in rehearsals, just joking around. So always Tom is such a joker. He just, everything was just.
You put this guy with two little cute Asian girls, and just the jokes write themselves, folks.
He had us laughing. I think we laughed more than we practiced.
So training was awesome.
The construction of this fight was really one of the most collaborative processes.
TJ sort of came in with sort of a framework, and then we would tweak it every week. We would come in, add a little bit more details here and there, and try to create some story elements and comedy elements. And
I knew what I wanted the story to be.
He was really open to suggestions, so it's kind of like, hey, we thought it'd be a great idea to do this and that, and he'd be like, or let's see it, or let's work it out, or the timing doesn't work, let's tweak it a little bit here and there.
the fight just built semi-organically. Sometimes it was just two of us that could make rehearsal, and so to always remember where the third one was and what the third one was doing was sometimes a challenge.
There was a part in the choreography where we're both going after Tom like pretty hardcore, and we were very close side by side. So it was hard to get the timing down to make sure we don't smack each other, and kind of ducking out of the way of his weapon at the same time, and that just kind of got really tricky, especially since the one we practiced with for his weapon was shorter, and then the actual weapon, then when we got it, it just changed almost everything. We got a little frustrated, but in the end it worked out really well. Yeah, I would have to agree that the timing was pretty hard. And also at the same time, try not to smack her while we're fighting with this big fans, because we were at one part working side by side so close together, and I was just kind of like, oh my God, if I smack her.
For the promo stuff, TJ said basically just walk down the hill and do something, which to me means absolutely nothing. And all I could think about is like every Gladiator movie out there, the Gladiator picks up sand and like does this dusty thing with it. So I'm walking down this hill and I get to the bottom and I'm thinking, please don't do the sand bit.
What was he gonna do? All there is sand.
How did I prepare to be the Gladiator? Honestly, I spent time in the sun to get a tan. Oh, I watched a few movies. Superficial much? Yes. I am Gladiator. I don't know what else there is. A gladiator takes a weapon and tries to kill someone before they kill him. I think I got that down, that part. What I like best about our fight is the little bit of humor and nuances that we were allowed to put in with the characters.
Yeah, it wasn't extremely difficult, and like she said, it was probably just the timing that was the hardest, and then the closing and opening of the fans. To master that with the timing took a little bit. We kept on dropping them over
And hitting
over
me.
and hitting you.
In the rehearsals, we would go through the fight over and over, week after week. I think we worked on it for a couple months maybe. And I don't think one time anyone got hit. I don't think one time. And yet on the day of the shoot, I got hit like 6 times or something. I mean, I got hit so many times.
We kept on saying sorry to you.
You did. And got tired of Wendy saying sorry.
I'm sorry.
I literally, in the middle of a take, screamed out, "Stop saying sorry!" When you work on a Western and you work with horses, horses get used to the word
action.
So everybody knows this who works Westerns, so they never say action, because as soon as they say action, the adrenaline runs through these horses' veins and they get all pumped up. That sort of happens to the fighters in these things too, I think. I think that when people know that the camera's on, I think you just instinctively flare up with adrenaline more than you did in rehearsal, and I don't know, it makes it more dangerous in a good way.
There was an incident I do remember. It was funny to me, or to us, that because in practice we didn't have to wear the same thing. We just have to kind of move as one unit. But when we got on set,
They do it naked. I don't know. It's something, you bring it out of me. She doesn't. You do.
otherwise.
It's weird. Sorry.
I can't say that on camera. Can't disclose. There was a scene where we kind of circle around Tom, and he kind of stopped and he looked around for a second, and I think he got so confused because he didn't know which one we're looking at and the placing was completely different. He was just like, I'm confused, can we start over? Because I don't know which way I'm supposed to be facing now, and I just got a kick out of that. On set and with the full makeup and the costumes, you literally couldn't tell us apart. So
I can't tell you apart right now.
Yeah, but we're wearing different clothes, so it's different, but we're
You're
same hair.
you're lefty, she's righty. That's how I tell you apart.
The only way I could tell them apart was by their choreography. So if they weren't moving, I had no idea which was which.
That was great. And I was like, oh, we can just confuse them all day long. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, these smell like strawberries. She smells like cherries.
What if we switch on you? Tomorrow will be cucumber melon and vanilla.
Whatever you gotta be moving.
I discovered pretty early on in the shooting process that if I needed to adjust their position, it was much faster just to physically move them.
Yeah, there was a lot of inappropriate touching.
What?
What?
My makeup scheme is a type of battle paint. I have no idea why the geishas paint themselves. Maybe to look all pretty and stuff for their boyfriends.
Do you think the werewolf's kind of hot? I don't know. You tell me. This is what happens on and off set.
Which one is the evil twin? Tom might be able to answer that better than me.
She's the silly one, by
Wait,
the way.
stop. What was the question? This is gonna go on all night.
It's gonna go on all night. We come up with all these crazy ideas in rehearsal, and like these chopsticks throw, and I get them in my staff of my winger walker thing there, and it like sticks there, you know, and it's gonna be perfect. We're gonna shoot it like that. It's just gonna be perfect. Of course, on the day, it's like that becomes like this major time consumer trying to get this thing to stick on the stick.
There was also a part where it was one of the endings and Tom had to basically smash our heads together, and we couldn't really see because we were literally like face to face like this, and by then we had a lot of special effects blood on our faces.
That's going to become pink eye.
So we couldn't really see, but all I heard was TJ saying,
Get really low on your legs, Tom, and don't pelvic thrust, did you imagine?
and he was doing this, and he was kind of like this sort of motion, and it looked like he was, looked inappropriate. Oh, it was so funny hearing that.
That was funny. The glaive is awesome. You had the cutting surface, the jabbing surface, you had the flat surface, the poking surface. These are all technical terms.
Choosing a glaive shows a certain amount of balls. And I like a man who shows his fruits right out there for all the world to see.
It's a little slow. That's actually an interesting thing. We rehearsed with the short one, with the broken one first. And then when we went from the small one to the full size, we had to sort of adjust for the speed, which actually made the choreography easier because I couldn't move as fast as I normally can, like a cat. That's right, like a cat. When we got this weapon and I saw how shiny it was, I thought, what? Hey, can he look into the blade and see that it's cut and be like affected by that more than the actual cuts themselves? After I started using this as a gladiator in rehearsals, nobody could take their hands off of the thing. Every time I came in, someone else was playing with it. Copycats. I love this thing.
Oh, I think the fans are great. The fans is a very subtle weapon. It's not like a broadsword or a hammer where it's kind of like, yeah, that could cut off a limb or two. So it definitely adds to that assassin's kind of air to it. I don't know, it just doesn't look deadly. And it's something you wouldn't expect to kill you, just kind of like small, tiny geisha assassins. You don't expect it to kill you, so it adds to that surprise element. I loved it. If I could have the opportunity to work with those again, I'd do it 10 times over. Before that, we were just kind of using size and shorter weapons that kind of, have the same length at rehearsal. And then once we actually got the fans, we were so excited using them, so we kept on opening and closing them like unnecessarily, just because it was little kids in the candy store playing with it.
This is the coolest
and
thing I've ever
Azim,
seen.
who plays the Persian prince, comes out of the studio. He's like, what are you guys doing out here? Because it sounds like someone's passing major gas. And if you hear the fans, that's kind of what it sounds like when you open and close them. Oh, we had a lot of fun with those.
I had to create a sound effect in post for when the fans open and close because it really does sound exactly like a fart.
I don't know how to feel about the fact that the gladiator is the only character in this tournament more naked than I am.
I don't know why they put me in that little tiny thing.
If he thinks he's man enough to be more naked than me, then I say he should be more naked than me. But bear in mind, I can always get nakeder.
What? I can't do it. It's not that funny. Oh, no.
And then the least dressed, sorry folks, I didn't choose my outfit, versus one of the most colorful, flowing, roby kind of things.
I think we got costume on the day of. And so the sleeves kind of came into play, and during practice we didn't have that. So all of a sudden our sleeves were getting caught on things and the timing stopped working out and we got a little frustrated. But you know, with practice it worked out. On the actual shoe day, you're racing against the clock, you're racing against, you know, Mother Nature and its elements. So we were losing the light towards the end, and it was get it done now or it's just not gonna happen. And you know, we wanted to make it look perfect. And it's like, can we do this move again? Can we retake that? Can we do one more time? And it's like, no, you really don't have the time, you gotta move on. So I think, not that we feel rushed, but it's kind of more pressure to make every move perfect and get it timed correctly so we wouldn't waste time to having to go back and reshoot it because it just didn't work out.
And these hot chicks were practicing their fights, and like all these people were like gathered around these hot chicks, like filming them and choreography with them and wardrobing them and like pampering them and making sure they were taken care of. And we're like the red-headed bastard stepchild way in the corner.
I'm too sexy for my kilt, too sexy for my pants, too sexy for these fox furs.
Interesting.
We really had to learn how to keep our face emotionless. TJ wanted us to look more like mannequin, like dolls.
They have to be blank face.
And that was really hard because in fighting you want to kind of have that yell and you know, you want to make sounds to enunciate like a hit or a grunt when you're taking a hit. But for this one, it's just like straight face, no smile, can't make faces.
But the girls kept laughing.
So that was kind of hard to restrain ourselves to naturally have expressions. Do I think that we can win? I think we have a pretty good chance. The only difference is that he's just, in real life, if you want to look at it that way, he is very, very big compared to, you know, us.
So the gladiator has a massive advantage, a massive reach, and he's just freakishly massive.
They're like little squirrels running up my trunk to grab my nuts. That's really all it's about. Is that wrong? Across the line?
Who would win in real life? Totally geisha assassin. I mean, we're fast, we're deadly. There's two of us, we're super stealthy. We totally got this whole thing covered.
She's going to have to rely on all means of womanly charm. She's going to have to rely on all means of trickery. She's going to have to rely on all means of diabolical sabotage. Then I'd kick him right in the fruits. Ha!
She is right in that they're stealthy and that they're super fast. And there are two of them.
The world cannot sustain two Celtic warriors.
Look, they're perfect for a gum ad. But for fighting on sand with weapons, it's massive killer, face to face. I mean, double your pleasure maybe, but not like doing anything for like violence stuff. I mean, come on. These chicks? Come on. I mean, this is a gladiator's arena.
It's like two of us.
And the gladiator's supposedly, I'm not saying I am, but he's supposedly the best gladiator of all time. And you take this geisha, even if there's 2 or 12 of them, I mean, it's just like, it's like the Gopher game.
How many geisha assassins does it take to take down one gladiator?
There'd have to be like 20 of them to make a difference. I mean, it'd have to be like a Russian doll just opens up and they start spitting out. For it to be like anything. And even then it'd be like, boom, gopher, gopher, gopher. You got some on that?
I think so. Totally geisha assassin would own you in real life.
We're talking the gladiator's game here. We're playing the gladiator's game. The gladiator, hello, hello. This guy.
There's 2 of us though, so you forget that.
6, 8 gophers, 12 gophers.
You can't
Bring them
handle-
up.
No, but you can't handle all of us. You can't handle all of us at the same time.
Oh, yes, I
You
can.
know, not like where is your mind?
Little squirrels running up a big tree trunk.
Obviously, I think the geisha assassin will win. We sneak up on you and you'd be dead before you even know. You hit the ground before you even know. You wouldn't even know what hit you.
That's the point, okay? There's no sneaking. There's 2 people standing right next to each other and face off in sand. There's nothing around. It's just like if you had a year to poison me, to seduce me. Well, you could seduce me in less than a year. But this is my point. Like, if I didn't know I was getting killed, assassination isn't like fighting. Assassination is assassination. It's like, you know, covert operations from afar, or like sneak up on them, stab them in the neck, like that kind of stuff. That's assassination. Fighters are fighters, and gladiators are fighters. Geisha assassins are chicks. That's gonna get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Girls can fight. Girls
Thumbs
can
down,
fight.
dislike for the
Hey,
gladiator.
I just make jokes. I think the voters are gonna vote for them because of 2 reasons. The left testicle and the right testicle. Because most of these voters are young boys going through puberty, and it's just like poisoning their brain, and all they can think about is boobs! Boobs! There might be boobs!
I don't understand it. That's why it has to be fairy magic.
I mean, come on! And they're just thinking, like, even though this geisha's got like these gowns on, these flowing gowns, and like it would take you 6 hours to take that thing off, in all honesty. They don't, boobs! Not that they're not awesome. They are awesome. They are awesome.
I think the voters will vote for us, not for that reason. I think they're gonna recognize that we are so awesome.
Yeah, I don't.
It's a different dynamic. It's a little
Yeah,
secret.
yeah,
Secret weapon.
yeah.
They know these things. They can make it happen.
The reason, another reason besides the puberty thing, is that this would never really happen. So why not give the underdog the chance, you know? Like just once, wouldn't it be nice to see one of those gophers pop up and like get the guy? I mean, that's what the audience might want to see, but honestly, no, it doesn't happen. I have never had a gopher attack me and win. I've always won. I've always beaten the game.
Who knows whether the gladiator will win out over the geisha just because some pimply-faced teenager is sitting at his computer thinking, ooh, I like how this boobies.
That you can vote for boobs, but you're not going to see them, pal.
Well, ladies, you get a bit more of a peek. Oh, there's all the way. What if I take it all off?
Which warrior would I want to go up against? Oh, that's an easy one. I go up against maybe the secret agent, man. I would just turn on my geisha charm. He'll be just out of the game like that. It'd be so easy.
You'd pop just like that?
Oh, so cool. Yeah, I just want to be able to use his cool gadgets. He's got all the gadgets.
Gadgets.
You never know what he's gonna pull out next out of those tuxedo sleeves.
I'm glad you said that part.
It's kind of sexy.
She's your sister. I guess I could be the secret agent, man. But that's a big tuxedo. That would have a lot of big gadgets. Does that excite you?
You show me a big gadget sometimes.
She's a sexual one. It's
What?
weird. No, you gotta heat up a little.
What? Me?
It's like hot and sour. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
God, I'm not like this. Who am I? It's almost like you're trying to avoid saying anything that I can turn into an innuendo right now.
What do you want me to give you? What can I give you, Tom? Let me help you out there.
No.
Some big dress shoes for you to fill.
Yeah, and I'd have a big gadget. Not that I don't.
You don't get that without premium viewership.
You okay? You alright? You okay?
All they ever talk about is gadgets.
I think you're obsessed with the big gadgets. There's a couple people I'd like to face
Alvin
off.
Huntress.
Interesting choice.
Tiger Chick.
I could see her working into it too.
Valkyrie.
Sure, force a charm.
Viking.
No, I'm gonna leave him home.
He's
Thanks.
got the mustache of wonder. He's got that hammer and just.
This is
It's like the golf.
yeah. So not only are you reinforcing my whole golfer theory of pounding geishas on the head,
But this is an if situation though. The blonde hair,
I'll let that play into your fantasy.
fur coat.
Bring them on.
It's yours.
I'd fight anybody in a competition. You know, who was willing to play and have a sense of humor and roll with it and not be so bitchy. Like, never mind.
I really thought that of all the
I think
complicated
right now is a
costumes that I was doing, that this would be the easiest, but it's really the worst.
Nobody, we're not talking about anybody. We shouldn't say anything more. As long as they're creative and fun and willing to have a good time, like these two. These two are willing to have a good time. Wait.
What?
Huh?
Tom and the girls were very generous about contributing their thoughts and their ideas, and it really helped to make this one of the most dynamic fights of the season.
TJ was great about like using what we do well as individuals and putting that into our choreography. Like for instance, I took off my helmet a lot and shook out my hair and posed often. So he worked that in. I thought he did good there.
You did pose a lot.
I did pose a lot of posing. And TJ was awesome in letting us sort of play and find things and try things and be wrong and be right. And he would come in with sort of ideas and we would all work together and, you know, little bits here added in, little comedy here, a little shebang, shaboom, shaboom, pop, pop, shoot, pop. And then there we go, got it.
So easy to work with, and that's really what you want for a project like Warrior Showdown, is someone that's able to, you know, listen to suggestions, just not like, no, this is my project, this is what I want, and I'm only doing it this way. And so that made a lot of fun for everybody.
Right. Was that what you wanted us to say, TJ?
Did I say it right?
Did she get it?
And cut!
What the hell? What was that all about?
I'm Wendy Lee.
I'm Tom Quiche.
I'm Wanda Lee. And this is your behind-the-scene look at Warrior Showdown 2, bringing history to life.
And putting your finger in its belly button and pushing it through the anus!
Oh my God.
Too much?